we are going to be showdown in what is one of the best football games. Forget Thursday, forget showdown of the season. It's literally two of the best 6 teams, 5 teams, maybe even higher in football, and you have them playing together tonight. We also get a special because we've got our boy Rody, Mr. Packers over here. We're gonna try and grill him, but he's gonna speculate like a lot of us because this is not a typical situation you see happening. I do want to say right off the bat, like if you're going to be making bets, like I think the Green Bay plus, I think they're 260 now. Last time I saw, it was either 240 or 260. I think they're a phenomenal bet. I think they have a chance to win this game. I like Arizona. I'm not a person who says Arizona's not for real, but I think the Packers are for real in general. And I understand you could be missing your top 3 receivers and still be for real. I am very into the Packers keeping this close, covering the spread, and potentially winning the game. So I'm going to bet on them to win the game. I bet on them to cover the spread. I bet twice as much on them to cover the spread as I did for them to win the game. And I'm an Arizona fan. I'm not a fan, but I believe in them. Rody, how do you feel about your Packers? Let's start off with that, and then we'll get into some plays we like.
Well, I'm a little worried today just because we don't really have a really good receiver playing for us that we normally do. So right there is a good spot to get different there, So that sucks. But, I think we got a good shot, like you said. I would bet on them to win. We still got Randall Cobb coming back. Packers like him, or Aaron Rodgers likes him. So we got some options, I think. And I think Aaron Jones will be I think he'll be more in the pass game tonight. Like he did have a game where he scored 3 touchdowns as a receiver. So I think he might go back to that. We seen Alvin Kamara the other night where he was getting tons of dump offs and he was getting all the work because that's their best player right now. And they figured out, hey, we got to go to our best guy. And I think tonight they might go to Aaron Jones for that same reason.
Yeah, for what it's worth, the props on Aaron Jones have jumped 9 yards and 1 reception fully since all this news happened. Even though we kind of knew it earlier in the day for receiving receptions and receiving yards. At the same time, A.J. Dillon's numbers have stayed the same for rush yards and increased a tiny bit in the passing game. What's wrong with playing both these guys, first of all? I guess the only answer would be that we have the value at the receiver positions and we have value at I honestly think one of my sleeper plays on this kind of a slate should be and is going to be Mercedes Lewis. Just because Mercedes Lewis one time he had a 3 touchdown game, right? And I think that none of them was for more than like a few yards, right? Like this they don't have a whole lot of guys to throw to. Mercedes Lewis is sort of built like a lanky receiver anyway. He just happens to be really big. He's a UCLA guy, so I know his game pretty well. He's mostly going to be a blocker, but I think that there's an argument to be made between the Mercedes Lewis. Obviously, St. Brown is going to be the popular one. Amari Rodgers is going to be popular-ish. And then Malik Taylor. So I guess this is going to be the point of the slate. Who are we picking for receivers? And then who are we thinking about captaining? So I'll start off with receivers for Green Bay. Who are you higher on and who are you lower on maybe than other people?
I would probably, that Malik Taylor's flashed a lot. I mean, he's going to be the lowest owned. I might try to jam him in a little bit more. I like him a little bit. I really like your Lewis call, though. I really like him. I'm going to get a lot more exposure to that guy for sure. I think he's going to be able to do it. And, yeah, I mean, it's just you're going to have to kind of build. I think tonight's a really good night for MME where you're going to have to really kind of get a little bit of these guys in, maybe make a rule where I don't like Amari Rodgers with Taylor, so make a group for that, group those guys out, either get one of those guys. I also on the Arizona side, I'm going to kind of create some unique groups where I want to like Rondell Moore. I think I like him, but like AJ Green and Hopkins are the volume guys. So I kind of think I'm going to make a big stand here, group those 2 guys out, and then either have like a Hopkins line up with Moore or Kirk, and then Green line up with Moore or Kirk. If you want to get those 2 receivers in a build with like Murray or something, just to kind of get different. I really like Rondell tonight, though, and he's cheaper. He'll probably get some more ownership. Green's less ownership. But, I mean, I do like Hopkins tonight, too. I mean, he's questionable coming in, so maybe people are less off him when he's got a Q tag. but he showed probable now, so maybe more people jump on him. What's your thoughts on those guys?
I love that thinking. I'm curious. You really think Rondale Moore is going to be higher owned than AJ? Because you don't need the savings today.
You don't need the savings. It's very close between those two.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rondale Moore is going to be the cheapest one, and I think he's most explosive. I've been on him all year, so
we're on the
I'm
same page here with this. 100%.
I'm going to go back to Moore today. I added some exposure to Lewis, like you just talked about. I'm going to do that. These garbage tight ends for Arizona, I'm just going to delete them out of my pool. Ertz will be the guy. I'll make a couple rules and not make sure I don't get a mass overload of those guys.
Yep.
I'm going to check some. Looks like 3-3 builds are the most popular, are going to be the most leverage actually tonight, and into 4-2s. Less 5-1s. I think we should play for a decent game. Murray's going to be the obvious captain. Are you going to lock Murray like in an MME build? Would you just lock him captain, then try to sort these guys out with groups?
No, I'm not trying to play these quarterbacks at captain.
Okay, you're not going to do that. Okay,
I'm going the other way. First of all, if I because of the ownership and the perception, I think Aaron Rodgers is the guy you want. If you're going to lock one of them in at captain, lock in Aaron Rodgers. That would be my take. You're get 1/3 the ownership, maybe even lower on Aaron Rodgers than Kyler Murray. Like literally 1/3. How do they think this game is going to play exactly? You know what I mean? Like if they're playing from behind, Aaron Rodgers, you could put him out there with me, you, and 3 other schmoes, and he's going to find a way to throw for 300 yards if they're down. You know what I mean? He's going to find a way to throw a couple touchdowns to whether it's Tanyan once and Mercedes Lewis once or A.J. Dillon or Aaron Jones 3 times. He'll find the way to win. I believe in Aaron Rodgers. I believe in Kyler Murray, but I'm not going to go this exaggerated and just lock Kyler into captain. I understand it's the most optimal thing to do. It's even different, though, than if they were playing, let's say they were playing Baltimore tonight. I probably would be more interested in playing Lamar because he's going to run so much more of the time. Kyler's got 5,000 weapons now. He can run. He doesn't need to, where Aaron Rodgers has no reception, like has no receivers, quote. I would do that. To be honest, Randall Cobb was my first thought for captain. I don't think it's that far off the board, but I think you're talking about 5-6% ownership versus everybody else. I think there's going to be 4 guys ahead of him. It'll be Aaron Jones, Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers, and DeAndre Hopkins. Am I wrong on that?
No, I think you're right on that. So yeah, Randall Cobb shows up on. I even think AJ Green will be above him. So
for captain,
yeah,
you think so? Really? I don't think AJ Green will be above him for captain, but I understand.
Oh, you're right. No, I read the wrong. He's ahead of Cobb on the sheet, but he comes in at 3.26. Green does, and Cobb is 5.6 captain. Okay, sorry, my bad.
No.
They had the sheet backwards. So
yeah. I'm not trying to get after you or anything like this. But I'm not playing a ton of lineups tonight, and I am playing a couple 222s, but I'm still leaning towards a Cobb Tanyan captain. Am I crazy?
No, I like the Tanyan call. I really do. Yeah, I do like that. He's showing about 3.6%. Guys, when we say 3%, everyone's like, oh, that's probably low owned, right? But in these large fields, 133,000 entries. So these guys that are 3 to 7% could be owned anywhere from 4,000 to 7,000, 9,000 lineups. So you still got to can't just go, oh, I'm going to play Cobb and then I'm going to play Aaron Jones, Rodgers, Kyle Murray, Tanyan. You still got to find a way to get a little bit different, or Nuke. You still got to find a little way to not just go cheap captain and load up all the stars. So just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I totally hear you there. I totally agree. It can't just be that one decision, right? You got to do – but I've got Tanyan and Cobb as my captains, and I'm leaving 12 and 1,900 on the table and playing Mason Crosby in one of those lineups.
So you're also playing a kicker and you're leaving money. So you're already making a few different decisions.
Right.
I kind of like that idea. So, guys, also what Bobby's saying, if one of these guys don't get there a captain like Kyler Murray or Aaron Rodgers, it's most likely going to be Aaron Jones is going to help not get Rodgers there. It's going to most likely be a kicker where they get bogged down in the red zone and kick field goals. So playing Mason Crosby is another way that Rodgers doesn't have that ceiling game where he just throws like 4 touchdowns or 5 touchdowns to Tanyan and Cobb and them, where he's the optimal captain. So you got to, in your build or make a rule to play one of the 2 kickers, to play, one of the running backs, even throw a Connor in there that hedges a touchdown off Murray, or an Edmonds or something, to kind of get a little different in there too on your non-captain builds.
Yeah.
With those guys.
Absolutely. Triple J is saying that he's worried about Murray's shoulder. Rodgers is literally one of the worst receivers in the NFL. It's all opportunity, man. Like, honestly, at this point, the worst receiver in the NFL looks like the same guy we talk about every week. Help me out. Why can't I think of his name? Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson has genuinely been the worst receiver, maybe in NFL history, through 7 weeks. Like, nobody has ever had like a 30% catch rate on balls thrown to them. I don't think it's ever even come to within 50%. He's like a 30% catch rate guy. And yet I'm still going to be playing him on Sunday because I am going to play opportunity, and there will be 2 weeks that those opportunities pay off. You're not trying to be right every time. You're trying to be right this time if it happened for a huge win, So I'm not worried about that. The only thing I worry about is the ownership of Amari Rodgers, or if Kyler Murray's his shoulder bothers you, absolutely great reason. Any excuse you have to fade the chalk, go for it. But any excuse you have to fade guys who are going to be low owned, don't even care about it. Don't even mind it. Don't give it any mind at all. That's my theory anyway. Am I off on that thinking?
No, I like it. That's exactly right.
All right. So let's talk about some other. So of the receivers, so it's going to be extremely popular Randall Cobb, who I think is by far the best option, which is why where I play him, I want to play him as my captain. Okay. If he goes through for 150, 4 catches, 5 catches, I mean, he can make a big play, maybe a little more, maybe let's say 6 or 7 catches. Okay. He's got a 4.5 catch prop. Let's say he catches 6 balls for 90 yards or 100 yards, let's just say, just to make it fun, and a touchdown. Aaron Rodgers is going to have to throw 3 touchdowns and 300 yards to pass him. Right? So shouldn't we be thinking that way a little bit? If we're going to play these guys, let's try to put them in that position, whereas everybody wants to play the quarterback in the captain spot. And I get it. If I was mass multi-entering, probably half my lineups would be that way. But if I'm going to play a couple entries and want to have a shot to win, I want to captain Tanyan and Cobb. Those are my 2 captains right now. Am I crazy for that?
No, I like it. I'm going to leave those guys in my captain pool. It's going to be kind of small today. I'm going to even add right now a little bit of those 2 guys in there as captain and kind of see what it gives me on my first build here on DK. So,
is there a chance A.J. Dillon gets like serious like pass game work? Like they could play 2 running backs and use A.J. Dillon as a receiver, or use Jones as a receiver. Don't you think that's a real possibility here?
I don't think I'm going to make a rule where if the Rodgers or Dillon and Jones isn't in the same lineup. So yeah, I don't mind getting Dillon. I added some exposure in my pool, so I'll have him, but I just don't know kind of where he's going to fall. I might group him out of certain builds, but I don't mind 2 running backs either. That's another way to get different, I think, even. So maybe they both catch it. Don't have a Rodgers captain if you're going to have both running backs in your build, though.
Agreed. But don't you also think that I think people are overestimating that, without all of his receivers, they're just going to want to run the ball. Sure, they're going to want to run the ball. Arizona's run defense has been good. Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers last time I checked. You could put, like I said, me, you, and 3 other randoms out there, and he's going to find a way to get there. I believe in Aaron Rodgers. Nothing has wavered for me. Nothing is going to change for me. I've not seen any sign of decline. I think he's still legitimately and, was arguably on path at one point. A couple things go differently and they break differently, and they win 2 other titles and Brady wins 1 less. He would have had a shot at being considered the best player ever, and nothing's really changed in his game. He still is that good. Tom Brady's been playing with nothing receivers his whole career. I don't see why Aaron Rodgers tear it up here.
Yeah, I mean, I like Rodgers. I'm a big Packers fan. I probably should have worn my Packers jersey. I think we're doing the picks video here in a little bit, so maybe I'll throw that on. Hopefully the game's a good start for Rodgers, and it looks good in the picks video this weekend.
Get it on there, bro. Let's go. What are we talking about even?
I know. I got to get my jersey. Right.
I am going to have one Aaron Rodgers captain in one of my lineups because I think that he's actually going to be a little bit more overlooked than – I don't even want to say he should be, definitely more than he should be. The guys who I'm not as interested in today, and they're the guys who probably make a lot of sense, I'm not playing as much Connor and Edmonds, and I would lean Connor over Edmonds with a different game script narrative, right? Like you're playing from ahead. Rodgers couldn't get it to any of the receivers, whatever. I would rather play Connors than Edmond in this particular matchup. Am I wrong on that?
No, I like Connor a little bit more today too, just because Packers give up a lot of yards in the first play, like a good rush, like a 5-yard run on a first down, or the first play to get they give up early down yards basically. So like a Connor could get a couple nice rushes there and a couple nice little runs. So he might be the guy, or he vultures a touchdown or something on the goal line. So
are we messing up by not considering AJ Dillon?
I'll have some exposure to him, I think. So,
but I mean, this is an interesting one because I feel like if everybody was fully healthy, we'd be talking nonstop about AJ Dillon. No, am I wrong? I'm interested. I'm really
I don't know what has he done all year. I mean, he hasn't done much for me. He fumbles the ball. Right? Like, he fumbles it. The last 2 games have been awful for him. He had a couple big games there where he was playing well, Cincinnati and Pitt. He looked okay.
Those were tight games too.
What?
Tight games. They weren't blowouts. I'm saying that he's getting run in tight games.
Yeah.
2 fumbles against Washington. That was big.
He did it. Yeah, he didn't look good last. Yeah, I mean, they just sat him down, man. Maybe they'll give him another shot though. I like playing him today. I'm gonna get some of him. I'm gonna have some of him for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I actually think there's an argument for like a 5-1 Green Bay stack. I really do.
Would you Murray the captain or no?
No, I would probably Murray the flex because I'm willing to forego a couple touchdowns.
I thought of doing that too.
If Connor ends up with 9 points and a touchdown, but AJ Dillon ends up with 8 points on catches, you know what I'm saying? Like that's sort of the route I'm thinking.
No, I like that idea just simply because Arizona's been spreading it out.
Right.
So like if Packers go heavy and like you basically just like lock Murray in the captain and then play 5 Packers and then just hope you get the right 5. Right. So that's kind of where I was thinking, like Murray spreads it around, throws a different guy touchdown, maybe runs 2 in, maybe Connor gets a goal line one he's got like 8 points. That doesn't matter. And, you just get all the other points from all the right Packers in your 5 Packers. But I doubt it would ever work like that, but you would have so much leverage over the field.
I mean, it's just, we're trying to win a tournament, right? I mean, even the 222, this, like it's so hard to get everything right. So, taking your shots like this, like you could play a Murray, you could even do a 4-2 with a Murray and Connor, which I know sounds weird, but you're playing Murray for the raw points if you're not captaining him. You don't care. You know what I mean? You just need the points. So if you play Murray to get the yards, maybe he has 75 yards rushing, maybe he runs 1 in, maybe Connor runs 1 in, then you play Dillon, Aaron Jones, Tanyan, and Rodgers, maybe you're in business. I think it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I like that.
Everything I do tonight feels super thin, but everything is super thin tonight. So what can I say?
Everything is super thin.
But it's oddly enough the best game we've had. Like, not even close. Yeah. Christian Kirk captain is to me a long shot that could pay off. I don't mind any of the Arizona receivers as captains either. I think it's you just have to know, like, you have to be playing multiple lineups if you're doing that, in my opinion. If you're going to play one lineup, maybe you just want to take one shot. But I don't see any reason why Christian Kirk is any better than any of the other any of the other Arizona receivers. That you need to get that off the board if you're playing one lineup. Where do you stand with like Kirk as captain?
I wanted to get a couple of them, so I got one.
Okay.
Yeah, I might get a couple more, but
okay.
I wanted to get a little bit of different than just all Murray. I usually mix it up. I either go like lock button him in captain, then run Bills, or I'm gonna try to get a little bit of like more Kirk. Some Tanyan we talked about, Cobb, Aaron Jones, and Rodgers. So I'll spread it out, a little bit of ownership on some and then a little more on the other. And then the rest will be Kyler. So.
Right. Well, officially, just in the interest of true transparency, I do have 2 lineups right now in the big one. And I now have Tanyan as my captain in one and Rodgers as my captain in the other. Randall Cobb is in my lineups. St. Brown is only in one of my lineups, and I am not playing. I'm playing Aaron Jones. I'm playing Chase Edmonds with Murray. I do have Christian Kirk in one of those lineups, not a captain, obviously. Just wanted to give away a little bit of what I'm doing. Who are some of the other guys you're maybe high on? Like we didn't, I do like the kicker idea. I do have that in some of the long, the 20 for $1 million like thing, leaving 1,900 on the table. I think there's a chance Mason Crosby outscores all of the receivers for Green Bay, and yet somehow Aaron Rodgers will still probably throw for 3 touchdowns. I don't know how that happens, but it happens. Go ahead. What do you think?
I like the kicker captains, or not captain. I mean, I like the kicker in the lineup. I'm going to add some exposure. The optimizer, for what it's worth, is not giving a lot of kickers right now. I think they think it's going to be a higher scoring game mostly. So like kickers isn't optimal, so people will be less off the kickers. But I think that's a good place to go. Yeah, even some defenses you seem a little interesting due to one of the questions in the chat here. Seem a little interesting just because Arizona's played well. It only takes 1 pick six to get them in the kind of get them in the lineup for a win, So
it's all true. Aaron Rodgers on per pass attempt has the least amount of pick sixes of anyone in the history of the NFL. Just want to throw that out there. Well, shout out to Aaron Rodgers. I'm a huge Aaron Rodgers guy. I know you're a Packer fan, but I'm an Aaron Rodgers guy from back in the draft when he was playing at Cal. I was like, this is the biggest mistake. Everybody's going to regret this. The same way I felt about Mahomes, even though it was only 9 people, but 22 teams passing on Aaron Rodgers. Can you imagine? What a horrible, horrible decision. If that was basketball, like that would be like legendarily, like even if your team is like winning the title, you're going to probably be fired for making that bad of a decision. Anyway, so I do, I'm very into, I have 100% Aaron Rodgers and I have 100% Kyler Murray. I'm not even thinking about going anywhere else. There's whether you're captain them or not, you have to play these guys. I just think you need the raw points. And I am not going to sit here and say, because, by the way, you know what the Packers' record is? I was about to go to a point, but do you know what the Packers' record is without Davante Adams?
No, I'm not going to guess.
They're undefeated.
They're undefeated. Really? That's a good one. I know I know they play well without Adams for some reason. I think it's because they screw the defense up. Like the defense, they just don't know what's coming at them. They don't know what to expect. When Adams is in there, they know he's going to get the ball.
Exactly. Rodgers is so good that he literally guys like, sorry, no offense, Jordy Nelson, who's a very good receiver, but Jordy Nelson was never a top 5 receiver in the NFL and was treated like one because he had Aaron Rodgers on his team. That's just my side note. That's just sorry. It may offend you as a Packer fan.
I was a Jordy. I like Jordy too.
Of course, he was great. But he was great the same way that Adam Thielen's great. Like this is a great receiver. Actually, he's not even the same as Adam Thielen in my opinion. I think he's a great receiver, but Aaron Rodgers can make anybody into a great receiver. Is my personal take. He didn't make Davante Adams. Davante Adams is a legit top 5 receiver. All right. Defenses, you already answered that one. All right. Anything else before we get out of here? Because I know you got to finish your builds, and then after that, we're going to do our pick show. What else are we maybe missing here? Anybody off the board? Can we look at this other wide receiver for Arizona? Sorry, for Green Bay. I I literally don't know these guys. We talked about Malik Taylor and Juwan Winfrey. Can we look at them?
I got rid of Winfrey. I like Taylor a little bit more tonight. I think that's where I'll go more.
Okay. Taylor, I don't have a prop on him. I wish I did. Amari Rodgers, I do have a 19.5 receiving yards prop. St. Brown with a 27.5 yards. And Randall Cobb. I actually like the over with Randall Cobb no matter what. If you guys are betting right now, I would bet the over on catches for Randall Cobb, and I would bet the over on yards for Randall Cobb. I also would probably take the touchdown bet at 2-1. Wouldn't you think that's a reasonable bet?
What was that last bet? You're cut out for a second.
I was talking about Randall Cobb.
The over?
He's got a 56.5. Oh, no, it went up. It was 49.5 a minute ago. 56.5 receiving yards, 4.5 catches, and he's 2-1 to score a touchdown.
Yeah, I don't mind taking some of those. I like those.
Yeah,
I think
it'll fit reasonable.
The 49.5 was easy to take over on that. I think he's the only guy we got to go to. Also, another one. Packers give up a lot of deep balls, right? They have 4 games. They give up a huge yard. Or Murray's thrown over like a 30-some yard pass, 36.5 yard pass. The prop for Murray over on a deep bomb was 36.5. I would take that prop over. Someone gave that to me earlier, so I'm not much of a bettor. So someone gave that to me.
I do love that, though. I think that you take the round, but then in that case,
Murray's thrown 4 times over that already this season, 36.5.
Yeah, I would take the Rondale
Longest
Moore,
pass.
though. Rondale Moore and Christian Kirk are the guys who are going to be catching that long ball.
Yeah, that's why I like those guys as much tonight too. So
Yeah, you got Hopkins and Kirk basically even money to catch a touchdown pass tonight. AJ Green at 2-1, Rondale Moore only at 3-1. Whereas all the Packers wideouts are 2-1, 2.5-1, 5-1, and 8-1. And then you have Mercedes Lewis at 7-1. I think Mercedes Lewis is your best bet at 7-1 for a touchdown. I think he's a better chance to have a touchdown than he does to have 30 yards receiving.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I'm going to have – I put him at 10% minimum on my little build here I got going. I'm going to get some of those guys more on FanDuel. I got to definitely get over there and start working on my FanDuel build.
Yeah. We'll let you get out of here, guys. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to do our pick show soon. We're just trying to give you guys as much content as we can and try and help with everything we can. Any other questions will be in Discord. Rody is the man, and he's the NFL Discord guy. I'll jump in there when I know my stuff and when whatever's going on. Any NBA questions you can throw at me, and any NFL throw at me, Rody Sheets. Anything else? If it comes to apparently if it comes to tennis and to the NHL, you have to ask Sheets because this guy just wins every freaking or LOL or NASCAR. I don't know how he does it. Even the guys who are teaching him how to do it are winning less than he does. He's a freak. Anyway, good luck to everybody. And Rody, I'll see you in about a half hour.
Yeah. Later, my guys.